So right before I went on my holiday road trip, I had my first experience with Tesla service. What happened? How'd it go? Well, the end result was exactly what I wanted, but it wasn't without a few hiccups. This is a little bit of a different type of video for me, so let's see how this goes. And before I dive into what happened, I still absolutely love this car and have not changed my opinion from my original review at all. And every encounter I've had when talking to Tesla employees directly has been amazing. They've always been incredibly professional and thoughtful in how they dealt with me. But there is a takeaway I have that concerns me just a little bit. Okay, so what happened? Well, my car had a strange whistling that would happen at high speeds or at slower speeds if there was very strong wind. And the closest analogy that I could come up with is it sounded like a boiling tea kettle. I tried recording it, but it never came through on the recording well. I didn't notice it when I first got the car because most of the driving I've been doing is local commuting type of driving. And when I would hear it, it would be sporadic and not overly loud, so it never quite drew my attention completely. The other oddity is that the sound never really happened when it was raining out. In my first big road trip I took, I actually made a video on, was damp, rainy weather, so it never happened during that entire trip. In time though, I started picking up on the whistle more and more when the weather was nicer out and I was driving faster at highway speeds. To the point where once you hear or see something, you can't unhear or unsee it. That's basically what happened. And speaking of seeing, there was also a very, very minor distortion in the windshield I hadn't noticed in the beginning either. It didn't impact my ability to see out the windshield and was off to the side, kind of out of the way. But just like the whistle, I couldn't unsee it once I saw it. So I contacted Tesla and set up a service appointment right before Christmas. Everyone at the service center was super friendly and accommodating. They had a service tech take a drive with me so I could point out the sound, and when I got the car up to speed and the tea kettle reached its boiling point, the tech cut me off and said, "Wow, yeah, I can hear that. I've never heard that before, and that's really annoying." So at least I knew I wasn't nuts. His immediate reaction was that they probably needed to switch out the windshield, which would also solve the minor distortion that I was seeing. They provided me a loaner and sent me on my way. Everything was great so far. But this is where things went sideways a little bit. I really do appreciate how Tesla service will contact you by phone, text, or email. Any way you want to connect, they'll do it. They promised me that they'd call me that day when they knew for sure what was going to happen. No call. The morning of day 2, I tried calling the Tesla service center and went through the phone tree options for checking on the status of your car, but only got a busy signal. So I emailed at about 11:30 in the morning. Less than an hour later, I got an email and they were going to replace the windshield that day. And I didn't hear anything for the rest of the day though. The morning of day 3, I tried calling again. Busy signal each time. So I emailed again at about 10 o'clock in the morning, asking if there's an ETA for when my car might be ready. I have my holiday trip coming up and would like to get my car back for it. No response. At 3:15 in the afternoon, I text asking if there's an update and get a response back within 15 minutes saying, they're continuing to work on the car, they're aware that I'm trying to get the car back in time for my trip, and that they'll let me know how things are going before they leave. I never hear back again, even after I text one last time right before they close. It's now day 4 and the day before I'm set to leave, and I try calling the service center multiple times again with no luck. I give up and decide to call the main Tesla service switchboard for help. The gentleman that helped me out was absolutely amazing. He never made me feel rushed, and he took all the time he needed to get the answers for me. He was even able to call through to the service center for me, and he didn't get the busy signal. And here's where it gets extra weird for me. He found a note in my file that the car was done and ready to be picked up, and could have been picked up the previous day. It was ready and waiting for me to pick up at any point. He was as perplexed as I was that nobody communicated that to me, since it was written in my file as if they had. I immediately drove over to the service center and walked in to find one of the friendly folks there. He didn't understand why I was getting a busy signal because he had been there the entire time. And he was also shocked that nobody had told me the car was ready. He took me out of the car, we did a walk around for me to inspect and approve the work. It was absolutely perfect. Looked great, you couldn't tell anything had been done. No distortion on the windshield, everything was great. On my drive home, no tea kettle whistle. Perfect. On my 800-mile round trip drive, no whistle. The problem had been solved. The big negative was the completely broken communication between me and the service center. And that's the big takeaway I mentioned earlier. I'm a new Tesla owner and my experience ordering the car was great. I've never bought a car on a cell phone using Apple Pay for the down payment. So simple and pleasant. The day I actually got my car was awesome too. Very pleasant employees at the delivery center, never felt rushed. And the car, I still love the car. It's the best car I've owned, and I'm still not over how fun it is to drive. But whenever it comes to communication between Tesla and the customer, I have had bad experiences. My delivery was delayed multiple times. I have a video on that experience if you want to see it. And my advisor was not good at all with proactive communication. And now with the service center, it's the same thing all over again. In person, Tesla has been great. The product itself is great. But communication, not good. I've heard from a lot of you about your deliveries and have heard multiple times about very bad communication issues with Tesla. Now, I don't want this to get blown out of proportion because it's the minority of the feedback I hear. But when it does happen, it's bad. Deliveries getting delayed multiple times, canceled at the last minute, sometimes as you're driving to go pick up the car. This is very concerning. Galileo Russell at Hyperchange made a compelling video on this topic. So did Brandon Harvard, who laid out his Tesla experience. Rich Builds has this crazy purchase experience video that you really should watch. Tesla has been growing like crazy. They've sold more cars in the end of last year than they've sold in their entire history. The growth of the company is absolutely mind-boggling, but with such rapid growth also comes growing pains. Tesla's like a teenager going through puberty and they've outgrown their pants. Okay, that's a really bad analogy, but as a company, it's made up of multiple divisions. The manufacturing group, which is the teenager, has grown super fast to hit the production volume they needed to hit. But the other division, which is the pants, haven't scaled at the same rate. You end up with service centers getting overloaded with the influx of new owners, call centers with longer wait times, and service advisors dropping the ball on proactive communication because they just can't seem to keep up. Looking at this logically, I get it. It's growing pains, and they'll get through this. But there's something intangible here that I worry is getting lost. You only get one chance to make a first impression. The communication issue, delays, and hiccups like this can cause a significant amount of damage to the Tesla brand. Tesla owners have been super loyal because they're taken care of and treated so well. But we have new owners coming on board, like myself, that sometimes fall through the cracks, get forgotten, delayed, or ignored. And to me, that's a warning sign. This is something Tesla needs to resolve quickly before it truly gets out of hand and their brand takes a huge hit. Tesla, it's time to buy yourself a new pair of pants that fit. And before any Tesla haters jump at this and say, "See, I told you," or Tesla fans say, "Matt, what are you doing?" I still have tremendous amount of respect for the company. Tesla is pulling off something that most people thought they couldn't do. They have an amazing product that is in high demand, and they're continuing to push the industry to produce more EVs and the technology forward. I worry about this because I care. My worry is seeing a great company get hurt from a self-inflicted wound that should be easily solvable, and hopefully will be sooner than later. So what do you think? Jump into the comments and let me know how your delivery or service center experiences have gone. Or if you've experienced issues like this. Are you worried? Am I nuts? Well, I can answer that last one, so maybe not that one. This is a different type of video for me, so give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to get alerts when I post new videos. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.